it's Lo.
Hi, I'm Haley.
And we are Wrestling Winedown. In our first episode, we're going to be covering Wrestlemania 35. We'll talk about the matches that we love,
Our favorite moments.
and were our predictions right?
So grab your glass of wine.
We're going in for the 3 count. WrestleMania 35 last Sunday. Amazing.
Amazing.
It was very long. By hour 3, 4,
I was
like, I need a glass of wine. Like, am I going to get through this?
Need a couple glasses of wine.
Pretty much. But it was a great event.
It was.
All in all, it had some matches that people were very invested in emotionally.
Yeah.
And then there were some other matches that they probably could have left on SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah, maybe made a little bit shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Would have helped with the time. But overall,
great.
it was good.
It was a good WrestleMania.
So many good moments.
Let's talk about, we're actually in agreement for our first moment. Kofi Mania.
Oh, yes.
This match was
Long awaited.
It was long awaited. It was everything I needed in my life and more. Kofi Kingston is deserving of this title shot. 11 years he's been in the WWE. He's gone from Jamaican to handing out pancakes.
Yeah, what a change.
I know, right?
But he can do it all great. Everything he does, he puts his all into it. This match, so good. It was everything I was hoping for.
Let's cover some of the background. As you know, Kofi and Daniel were set to square off at Fastlane. Everyone was excited about it because Kofi showed off at Elimination Chamber, the pay-per-view before Fastlane. So everyone knew it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Kofi. There's no doubt about it. Vince McMahon comes on SmackDown and says that he's replacing Kofi, and he brings out the returning Kevin Owens. Everyone's like, what the hell?
Everyone was so mad.
I was mad,
yeah.
Kofi was definitely deserving of this, and Big E and Xavier, I need hype women like that.
Yes.
Because
yes.
they are in Kofi's corner like no other.
They're there for him no matter what.
Yes.
At the end of the match, when they all jumped into the ring and hugged him.
Beautiful.
Oh,
that was like
so
a Hallmark
cute.
moment.
It was. It really was.
Everyone online was worried that Big E was going to have a heel turn during this match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting on the edge of my couch. I'm nervous. I'm shaking because when they come out, Big E had that box and we're like, what's in it? We didn't know what he was going to do. I'm like, oh my God, please not tonight. This is Kofi's moment. Like, I was hyperventilating.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I noticed that it kind of looked like they wanted to jump in and help him, especially when Daniel Bryan was in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
But they know this was his moment.
Right.
And they know that if they jumped in, he would have been eliminated. And they didn't want to do that to him.
Right. So once Kofi won, the atmosphere in the arena, it was just so loud. You could...
When they did the audience shots,
yes,
and everyone was so happy, crying, jumping up and down.
Very well deserved.
Yes.
And then Xavier Woods was crying when he unveiled the new championship belt because, your favorite belt, the vegan belt.
The vegan belt.
It's gone now.
It's gone, yeah.
Yeah. So they had to bring back the actual championship belt.
Right.
And Xavier was crying. And
when they
it made me
unveiled
wanna cry.
Yes. Daniel Bryan, he's been through some changes in WWE. Let's talk about that for a second. He used to be so great. He used to be so excited. He used to be a lot like the New Day in a sense, jumping up and down, hyped. And then something changed.
He turned heel. That's what they say.
And then during the match, he was mocking the Yep movement. Did you see that?
Yep. WrestleMania is a huge stage, and Daniel Bryan's had his time to have his moment on the stage. A couple years ago in New Orleans, he had his moment where he won 2 championship belts in the same night. The crowd was reminiscent of that when Kofi won, and I think everyone was just so proud. You saw on the screens backstage, they had the whole SmackDown and Raw rosters watching Kofi, so everyone was just pushing for Kofi to win. For him to win, it was great. His kids were in the ring. It had me emotional. And then that damn box came back.
That box.
And we're like, what is it? And I'm like, oh my God, please, he just won. Don't do this right now.
So you were live tweeting on our account at WWDcast.
Cheap plug.
So what were you seeing about this match?
A certain wrestling person had tweeted this spoiler. I don't remember the exact wording, but it went kind of like... I'm grabbing the mic. I'm doing this for emphasis. This is a spoiler for the match you're watching. Don't click on it. It's a spoiler, but I know you want to see it, so click on it. And you know how Twitter is. When you get tweets, you see the picture. It was a picture of a shirt on WWE Shop, and it was of Kofi holding a championship belt. So everyone sees this, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? You just ruined the match we're watching. And this guy's like, I literally told you it was a spoiler.
He's like, it's not my fault I tweeted this. I gave you the warning. I hate it when people do that. That drives me crazy.
It's weird. I didn't know WWE does this, but after I did a little bit of research, they put the shirts of both winners on the websites. So in case someone does win, they could push it as soon as they win. And if not, they can delete it. I don't know. Who would even be on WWE Shop when WrestleMania is on? You're like, damn, this is a really good time to buy a shirt.
Okay, but also they were plugging their website the entire time to buy shirts.
They always do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell me about one of the matches that you really liked. We were talking earlier about this one.
Yeah, so the match that I really liked was The Miz and Shane McMahon, ex-BFFs turned enemies. Since this was a Falls Count Anywhere match, they brought this match everywhere.
Oh, yes, they did.
They were going over the sides. They were like, at one point, I'm pretty sure they were in, like, right by the hallway, the entrance, and everyone just turned around and looked at them. Crazy. I thought that their athleticism was really good. They were doing crazy moves.
Jumping as always.
Yes. Shane McMahon is known to jump off of everything he sees.
As soon as Shane came out, I was like, what is he jumping off of tonight?
But The Miz did suplex him off.
He did suplex him, which was a...
It turned on The Miz.
Yeah, it did. And then Shane ended up getting the pin on him. But it was a good match. Great cameo from Mr. Mizanian in the ring. Yes. I was not expecting that.
The meme.
I love the meme. I use that meme, and people really appreciated it. Peyton and Billy winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. So the Women's Tag Team Championships, newest titles in the WWE, and these ladies were facing off against the title holders, Sasha Banks and Bayley, versus Nia Jax and Tamina, versus the returning Glamazon Beth Phoenix and Natalya. This match was amazing. First of all, you get Natty coming out with Beck, and then out of nowhere you hear the Hart Foundation music, and Bret Hart comes out, and I'm just sitting there like, this is great. Bret Hart deserved his moment because some a-hole at the Hall of Fame speared him on stage. Can we just talk about that for a moment? Yes. Oh, my God.
Yep.
I was pissed. I was watching this live stream at home, and Bret's talking, and Natalya's standing right there, and you see this man come into the ring, and then the stream just cuts off, and then it comes back on, and then it cuts back off, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Why?
And I'm live tweeting, of course. Right. So you see all these people, they're like, what the hell just happened? And then you get back on, and you see Natty and Bret are on one side of the ring, and there's a bunch of people that are just on, the other side of the ring. I watched the video after, and Natty actually got knocked down too. Yes.
Oh my God.
Natty was held on to Bret, and they both got knocked down. Guess who the first person was in the ring? Ronda Rousey's husband, which
funny.
I was completely shocked by that. He got there faster than most of the other people did.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So some of the people that were in the ring, Heath Slater was in the ring. Drake Maverick was in the ring. Davey Boy Smith, who used to be with WWE, that is Davey Boy Smith, the original British Bulldog, his son. He was in there. He threw hella punches. And finally, for that video, which it's so crazy how fast videos get online. But anyways, Dash Wilder was so pissed he threw a punch on the guy. And he was being held up by at least 10 other guys, and he still fell.
Oh, my God.
I stand.
Me too.
He should have done that.
He got what was coming to him.
He did. And I read up on that. He was arrested. He's in jail. He better stay there. You don't attack a legend. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce ended up winning their first titles in the WWE. Emotional moment. Very emotional. They were crying. They were so happy. And just seeing that, you know that they're best friends in real life. And a fact, they were the only real tag team in the match.
They were.
All of these other teams were paired together, but most of them are single superstars.
They all worked as tag teams. Everything worked. No one was like the weak link in the tag teams.
But they weren't an established tag team.
Exactly, yeah.
And Peyton and Billy had that upper edge on them for that.
Because they've been together for so long.
Yeah. I hope they keep their titles for a while. They really deserve it.
I hope so too.
And I love their ring gear.
It was so cute.
Yes, Peyton had a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Loved it.
While we're on the topic of a good match, let's talk about Triple H and Batista.
Oh, we know you love that.
I loved it. I loved everything leading up to this match where he was like, give me what I want. I thought that was so funny. But the match itself, I expected Triple H to win just because I think he'll be around longer than Batista in WWE because Batista has his own stuff going on.
Batista is a legend, a Hollywood legend.
He is a Hollywood legend.
Don't mess with Fashion Dave.
Can we talk about where all these tools came from?
Under the ring.
Under the ring.
Yes.
He took his nose ring out.
That was vicious.
I was like, what? But what'd you think of the match?
It's
not in your top 5, right?
It's not in my top 5, and I'll tell you why. This match was good. I love the two superstars individually, and they put on a very good show together, but I felt like after a while it was just kind of like, okay, can this be over already?
The one thing that I thought was really impressive is Batista hasn't been in the ring for 5 years.
Right.
And Triple H hasn't consistently been in the ring for probably about the same time.
Well, he competed at Crown Jewel. He tagged with Shawn Michaels, and they faced off against Kane and Undertaker. But other than that, he hasn't been a real full-time superstar in a really long time.
So them coming back and being so strong, their match was good.
I will give them that. Their match was good, but I had seen someone online that had kind of summarized how I felt about the match. You either really liked it or you really didn't. And there were a lot of matches on the card that I felt were like that. I felt like Randy Orton and AJ Styles was like that too. This one was a little bit faster than theirs, but Randy and AJ, theirs was very slow. Mine, you half the people in the arena couldn't see it because the light was shining on them. But that's another story.
Wait, let's get back to that. What do you mean?
So people in the arena were tweeting pictures all night during that match.
Yeah.
The light that they had on top of the structure of the ring was shining in their face, so they couldn't see what was going on in the ring. Randy Orton had actually posted something on Instagram after saying, sorry that you missed such a good match. It was so great. The light was shining in your eyes the whole time. Sorry about that. Mm-hmm. And, people spend a lot of money on these WrestleMania tickets. So to be sitting there, mind you, they fixed it, but to be sitting there, maybe it was your favorite match that you wanted to watch, and there's a light shining in your face the whole time. I would be pissed.
I would too.
But going back to what I was saying, both of those matches were like you either really liked it or you really didn't. Batista and Triple H, they had a lot of good spots in there, but honestly, I wouldn't have wanted to see Batista go out any other way. He had mentioned the reason why he came back to WWE because he wanted to retire.
Yeah.
And he wanted his last match to be against Triple H, and that's what he got, and now he's done. He's done. I'm really sad. He's had so many. People are going to laugh, but Dave Batista is one of the most well-dressed men I have ever seen in the WWE.
That's true.
He is. If you go back and look at his looks from 2006 to when he stopped in the ring, Fashion Dave is back at it again. Dave. I swear. Get it, boy.
But also the thing that I really liked about this match is Ric Flair got his revenge.
I want to go back to the pre-show.
Okay.
A lot of people don't watch the pre-show, and, I'll never know why. There's always some gems. So this WrestleMania, we had a women's battle royal, which I'm rolling my eyes right now. The women deserve better. They should have not been on the pre-show, which, last year they were on the pre-show. Naomi won the Battle Royal last year, and a lot of people have brought the point, what did that bring for her? There was no actual prize. This year, Carmella won. Of course, Corey Graves was so happy.
I'm sure he was.
In the middle of the broadcast, he's like, and Carmella won that, and I'm like, okay. Oh.
You're like, all right. I'm going to mind my own business over here.
Well, I'm glad she won that because, she's kind of been in R-Truth's shadow for a couple months now, and it's kind of starting to get on my nerves because I've seen how capable she is in the ring, and I just really want her to wrestle more.
Because the thing that she's doing more than wrestling right now is her
dancing.
7-second dance parties, which are longer than 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I don't know who's timing those. So we had that match. We had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Braun Strowman won that one. We had the SNL stars in that. Anyway, I don't have a comment on that. And then we had the 205 Live match. That was a really good match. Don't sleep on 205 Live. I hear everyone say that, but then they sleep on 205 Live. They know how to move, okay?
They do.
They are quick, they're agile, they get the job done. And we had a title change there. We had Tony Nese pick up the Cruiserweight Championship in that match against Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, I feel like 205 Live is really picking up. So I know you don't like Enzo, but I feel like after Enzo left, the cruiserweight was kind of lost
Please
for a minute.
unmic me.
It was kind of lost for a minute.
We're not going to talk about Enzo.
I smell a couple haters.
So the match that I really liked was added on Thursday, the Thursday before WrestleMania. We had the Revival versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. This match was really good. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder used to team up back in the day as the Major Bros, and maybe I'm aging myself. I know a lot of people have started watching wrestling recently, but when I started watching, they were with Edge, they were tag team champions. I really liked them. And then they both went their separate ways, and now they're a tag team again.
Lo's been watching wrestling for a substantially longer amount than I have.
Yes, so if I come on here and I'm like, I'm spitting my knowledge.
Yep.
So, as many of you guys probably know already, Kurt Hawkins was on his losing streak, 269 matches.
269?
That's almost a year.
Yeah. Okay, so statistically, he did have to win eventually.
Right. I'm glad he won at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder, great weekend. He proposed to his longtime girlfriend, NXT superstar Chelsea Green, who she's currently injured, but I can't wait for her to get back in the ring. I'm biased. Sorry. There were a couple spots in the match where you thought Revival was going to win, and then Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder picked up the win, and it was just such a great moment. I wish that would have been on the actual show, but I'm just going to sip my wine. A moment of the night that I will never forget in my life. I feel like that was very dramatic.
I'm excited. Your whole life. No, I get it.
When I was sitting there, we're watching Elias perform 3 Eliases at once.
That was a bit much. I was kind of, yawning during this.
Yawning? Elias is the future. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there.
Someone walks with Elias.
Yes, I do. Wherever he wants to go. I hope it's to a championship reign.
You'll follow him to the end of the world.
That's very deep. I wouldn't follow him to the end of the world.
The end of the ring.
Yeah, the end of the ring. Yeah. Elias is performing, and then...
There was a plot twist. A big plot twist in this.
That was very loud.
My coffee just kicked in.
Then, this weird graphic comes up on the screen of the New York Yankees. It's a black and white, and I'm like, oh my God, is it CM Punk? I don't know why I thought it was CM Punk. That was, my first thought, and I'm sitting there, and I'm, froze. And then the Thugonomics theme starts playing, and I'm like...
You're like, goodbye, this is great.
I was like, this is... What is going on? I love wrestling.
Yes, this is why we watch wrestling, for moments like this.
John Cena did not look a day over 41. He is 41, I checked. He looked like he did when he debuted with his jean shorts, his little jersey. He came out there, he spit some bars, and then he left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw the interview that he gave stating that he feels like his WrestleMania presence isn't really needed anymore because WWE has so many superstars now that are so popular and so talented that they don't need John Cena on the card to sell tickets. How do you feel about that?
So I definitely get what he means, and maybe he's not necessarily needed, but he's wanted. He comes out, he wrestles great, he has moments like this that just stop the show. And they did sell out the whole stadium without anyone even knowing that he was coming.
Right.
But I feel like this was for the people who have been watching wrestling for a little bit longer.
Of course, a lot of people online were saying, I feel like I'm 5 again, because John Cena had this gimmick so long ago.
It's been since 2002.
Yes, I loved it. I hope he comes back.
Well, what do you think about his statement?
John Cena's getting older. He's 41 now. When you get up to a certain age as a wrestler, The Undertaker is in his 50s, I believe, and, Kane is a little bit younger than him. You have Triple H, Shawn Michaels occasionally. All these older guys. I also thought of Scott Steiner, which I honestly don't know how old he is, but he is old. Sorry, Scott, if you're listening. But when you're an older superstar, it's really hard to come back from injury. I know an Undertaker, when he was performing every WrestleMania, every time after he got out the ring and when he came to the ring, people were just like, just retire already. I don't want John Cena to be like that. John Cena has been a top player in the WWE for so many years now. His merch has been selling. People will say he sucks or whatever, but the numbers don't lie. I think he's getting to a point where he's about to hand over the baton to someone because he's just getting older. I
think he knows that. I think that he's aware. He knows that he doesn't want to be like these other wrestlers.
Unlike other wrestlers, it's like they just can't hang up the boots. I feel like eventually he'll kind of turn into The Rock, where he'll go into Hollywood because he's done so many films already, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, but I have to throw this in here. I just have to. So you said you'll walk with Elias anywhere, but the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena, said WWE is not Walk with Elias. It's Wasted Wrestling Experiments.
Anyway, let's get to the main event.
I had to throw that in there. I
see we're being shady today.
A little bit.
Women's main event. Let's start off with Charlotte Flair's entrance. That was one of your top moments of the night.
It was. She had such a good entrance. So there were a couple good entrances during this, but I'm going to put hers at number 1.
I believe she was number 1 too. The helicopter.
And she just looked so good in that helicopter. She was like, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to win. I mean, didn't work out, but
that's because she has Andrade waiting for her at home. That's why.
Now
and she's talented.
Shady.
I'm not being shady. Did you not see the Hall of Fame? She was like, this is our coming out. And then she was like, he picked out my outfit. She was like, black and white mommy. I'm like, girl.
You're like, oh yeah, Charlotte. This match had Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. So we were both on Becky Lynch's side for this, right?
Yes, Becky, this whole feud has been brewing for just so long. You know, Becky had won the Royal Rumble, and then she got arrested, and then Charlotte got added to the match. Ronda was pissed this whole time.
And Becky got dropped from the match.
Then she got dropped from the match. Then she got added back into the match.
Yes.
It's like, honestly, if you miss a week of Raw, you're going to not be on the same page.
You're not going to know anything.
Ronda was pissed this whole time. Her and Becky are going back and forth on Twitter. Charlotte's barely getting involved. So everyone's excited about this match. They announced about a week or two before that this is the first women's match in history to main event. This is a big deal. I don't care how you feel about Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch or Ronda Rousey. At the end of the day, this is a huge accomplishment for the women in WWE who have been working their asses off to be on the main event, to have matches longer than 5 minutes. I remember when I first started watching, women were on TV for like 5 minutes max.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see a match that was longer than 5 minutes.
And it was a good match, too.
It was a good match.
So what were your thoughts of start to finish, everything?
Loved Charlotte Flair's entrance, as we said. It was like a homage to her dad. He had done a helicopter before. Becky's entrance, I kind of expected more. I just expected more in general from her. Ronda's was okay. I mean, she had a live performer. She had Joan Jett perform for her, so what else could they have done for her except light the whole place with fireworks? This match had the same problem as the other matches of the night with the tables not breaking. We saw it in Batista's match. We saw it in a couple other matches where they had either gone through a wooden table or the announce table and it did not break. And you're kind of sitting there like, what's going on there? There was a spot in the match where Ronda tossed out of the ring and it looked like she actually hurt her neck.
They dropped her. I don't think that was supposed to happen.
I don't know if it was supposed to happen.
So I'm not the biggest fan of Ronda.
Girl, your shirt for our promo said
that's
rowdy.
True. That is true. Okay, good point. You got me there.
You guys see this?
Did she deserve everything that they did to her? Dropped her?
Well, you did see that they were saying online that the ending of the match was not what it was supposed to be. Now I was seeing today that the refereed the match was fined because he counted and Ronda's shoulders weren't down.
They were down for 2, I think.
Yeah. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter about this match. Ronda was pissed. I mean, what's surprising about that? I'm sorry to throw shade at Ronda, but what's surprising about that? It seems like she's always mad. I had seen something where Becky confirmed that Ronda's wrist was broken. I don't know when that happened, but it happened.
So I wonder if they are going to have a rematch.
I saw online that they are setting up for WrestleMania 36 to have Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch.
Okay.
They want to give Ronda a year off to go pop out a baby and live her life.
The reason?
That is what I saw online. I don't remember the website, but they said that Ronda feels like this is the time for her to go have a kid, and then she's going to come back in a year and wrestle.
Okay.
We'll see if that actually happens.
I mean, also her wrist needs to recover, so this match couldn't happen anytime soon.
No. We'll get into it when we cover Raw and SmackDown from this week. You know, Becky already has some other competition.
She does. People have stepped up.
People have stepped up.
They want her
They want her titles. Becky 2 titles.
Yeah.
They're going to take one of them or both of them.
I mean, we'll see.
Let's get into our predictions.
Okay.
Let's see how many we got right.
Okay. I'm ready.
Winner takes all main event. Who did you think was going to win? Becky?
Yes, Becky. I was Becky all the way.
So,
they called it Wrestlemania.
Yes, so 1-1. Okay. Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. I had Brock, so I'll take the L there. And you had...
Yes, I had Seth.
Okay, you're winning. WWE Championship match, I had Kofi.
Kofi, of course.
We're on
the
same page. You're still up one. No holds barred. I wanted Batista to win. I knew he wouldn't win. I knew this was his last match, but something inside of me was like, he's going to win. So I'll take the L.
I had a feeling it was going to be Triple H just because Batista, it was his last match.
Yeah.
And
well, he didn't publicly announce this was his last match, but
also if Triple H lost, he would have retired.
Done. Yes.
So that's why I kind of had that feeling.
Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle. I had a little inkling that Baron Corbin, a.k.a. the Olive Garden manager, would win, and he did win.
Yeah.
You thought he would win?
I thought Kurt Angle was going to win just because, again,
that's a fairy tale ending. They kind
of robbed him of that.
They didn't want a fairy tale ending for this one. They wanted him to put over someone before he left.
Mm-hmm.
Shane McMahon and The Miz. I thought The Miz was going to win.
I also thought The Miz was going to win. I think everyone thought The Miz was going to win. And when they suplexed off that thing, that wasn't the ending everyone was hoping for.
I agree. I wish Maurice wasn't pregnant so she could have gotten involved.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre.
This is your match. What did you think?
My match.
Your match.
I didn't like this match. I was kind of surprised I didn't like it. I kind of figured Roman was going to win, and I was hoping Roman would win since this was his first match back from his cancer remission. I'm glad he won. It was a very emotional match at the end. Who did you think was going to win?
I thought Roman was going to win.
Yeah.
And like Renee said during this match, Roman wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for everyone who's ever struggled with an illness, for all the children that he was with.
Oh, my heart.
That's why I think he won. He wanted this more. He wanted to prove that he's back.
Right.
That
the big dog is back.
The big dog is back.
AJ Styles and Randy Orton. I didn't like this match. I didn't choose anyone for this match.
Okay. I chose AJ.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not a big fan of Randy Orton. I think that he's a little too cocky right now.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. I don't have any words. I agree. We'll see. He's a great performer in the ring.
He is a great performer.
Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio. I also did not pick a winner for this one.
I blinked and this match was over.
It was sad.
It was.
Samoa Joe had the upper hand because I think Rey was still injured from last week when they announced that he had an ankle injury. But
yeah. I didn't pick someone for this either, but...
And then we had the Iconics, Bayley and Sasha, Natalya and Beth Phoenix, Nia Jax, and Tamina Snuka. I think we both agree on this one. We didn't have a clear winner for this match because this match was showcased in a way where you had no idea who was going to win, which I really loved about it because it added suspense to it. You're like, who's going to win this? So I didn't choose anyone.
They were all such good competitors.
I would have been fine with either of them. I kind of would have been a little bit salty if they chose Nia Jax and Tamina just because they're choosing the people with the
upper hand.
The upper hand, yeah, to win the match. But that's just me. I love me some Nia though. Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. I had Finn for.
I also had Finn for that one.
Great. The Demon.
His entrance.
His entrance was pretty good. I thought his match was going to get cut. I was very scared. And then we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. The Bar. And Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev.
So I had a feeling that The Bar and Shinsuke and Rusev weren't going to be the winners. I thought that it was going to be between Aleister and the Usos.
Aleister and Ricochet and the
Usos. And they all put up a pretty good fight.
They did. You probably knew this. Aleister Black and Ricochet competed last week on Raw, the week before WrestleMania, for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Yep.
Then in NXT, on TakeOver, they faced off for those championships. And then
they've been busy.
3 titles, and they didn't win either 3. Which, okay, I get it. But to be in those type of matches when you're on the main roster for a couple months now, that's a huge deal. They have so much trust behind them already.
They're really good competitors,
so
I see something happening soon with them winning.
Raw Tag Team Championships, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins versus The Revival. I went for Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Did you have...
I didn't choose anyone for this one, actually.
I kind of was pushing for Dash Wilder after his antics from the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But, I really wanted Ryder and Hawkins to win. I'm glad they did. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Did you have a picked winner for this one?
I didn't have a picked winner.
Okay.
But I am glad that I watched this to see Heavy Machinery do the caterpillar during the match. Probably my favorite moment from the kickoff show, to be quite honest.
I didn't have a picked winner either. I just did not want it to be anyone from SNL.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Cruiserweight Championship with Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy. Did you have a picked person for that one?
I was going to go for Buddy Murphy.
Okay, I was going for Tony.
Okay.
I just wanted to see something new.
Good point.
And finally, the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Who did you think was going to win?
I'm glad Carmella won. I wasn't sure who was going to come up on top.
I wanted Asuka to win. She deserved better. She shouldn't have lost her title 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was very
strong.
She
hasn't been getting what she deserves, I think.
That's another story. Yep, that weird. That's definitely a different story for another day.
Yes.
Haley has been keeping track.
Yes, I have.
This whole time. Let us know who won. Was it me or was it you this time?
So, we tied.
No. We tied.
How? I know. Crazy. 7-7.
Wow.
I think it's because we didn't choose some people for some matches, so it just balanced out.
Better luck next time that one of us actually wins.
Right. What are we going to do when we win? We'll figure it out when we win.
We'll figure it out. I wanted to bring up something I saw on Twitter about WrestleMania, which really has stood out to me this whole week before we recorded. A lot of people were talking about how long WrestleMania was, with the pre-show along with the actual shows around like 6.5 hours, which is a long time.
That's, combined.
Yes, that's a lot of wine to go through. A lot of people have been wondering what it would be like to have a WrestleMania that takes place over 2 days. So one day would probably be like 3 hours, and the next day would be 3 hours. How do you feel about that? Because I have an opinion on it, but I want to hear what you have to say.
In theory, sounds great. But I don't think it would work out because the fans, would they have to buy 2-day tickets? They're already there. They're committed to being there. And I don't think that they'd want to come back. Because did you see the picture where it was like so many people standing outside waiting for
Uber?
Ubers?
Yeah,
yes.
They were outside for hours.
Exactly. So I don't think that they would want to deal with that twice. It would work out for viewers at home, but for ticket sales and all of that, I don't think it would work.
So here's my thing. WWE has this long event list for their week of WrestleMania. They have access, they have signings, they have all types of stuff. So to put a 2-day WrestleMania in, yes, it would be smarter because the fans would be more lively when compared to a 6-hour show if they have 2 days with 3-hour shows, but you're also cutting down on other events that could be going on that weekend. So let's say they put it on Saturday and Sunday. You're missing out on the Hall of Fame. You're going to have to rearrange your schedule for that. And if they split it up to where it's like, okay, well, we're going to put the Hall of Fame and TakeOver on the same day, then people are choosing between which one they're watching. I also think with the whole transportation thing, that was definitely unorganized.
Bad planning, yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people are for the 2 days, but are you really? You know how tired you are after going to WrestleMania, Raw, and SmackDown? That's 3 events. Imagine people that go all weekend. They're so tired.
And the momentum is already going through the one show.
Right.
It's like rolling. They have it all planned out.
Yeah.
So things keep happening. No one's going to be bored during the show, ideally, right? If it was broken up into 2 days, they would have to start that all over.
Well, did you see how it was when they were there for that whole 6 hours? The crowd was dead by the time the main event happened.
Right.
And that shouldn't have happened, in my opinion. Also depends on how they rearranged their matches, which I think would have probably woken the crowd up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking this while I was watching. Ronda was so mad because she waited in Gorilla for 6 hours. She was back there just fuming. She's like, I'm going to get out there and kick their asses. And then she's like, 6 hours later, okay, I need a nap.
You were live tweeting. Did you notice a change in what people had to say? Like from when it started, their excitement to
people were tired. I was tired. You want to see the end match because it's been hyped up so much, and it was such a historic thing that if you went to bed and you woke up the next day, you would have been pissed if you woke up and someone that you wanted to win didn't. Which a lot of people were. A lot of people stayed up that night even after WrestleMania because they were like, what the hell was that finish? People were so mad. At the end of the day, I feel like if WWE puts out a 6-hour pay-per-view, people are going to find a way to still watch it. If you're at home, you're going to break it up into pieces. If you're live, you're going to sit through it. I doubt that many people left after 6 hours.
Since WrestleMania was 6 hours long, what do you think they could have maybe left out?
Well, this makes me so sad to say. Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley definitely had the death spot. And I think that their match was so close to getting cut because when I was watching, I asked. I was like, did their match get cut? Because the match before it was so long. And you're just sitting there and you're like, okay, they must have canceled the match. Yeah. And then finally Finn comes out and you feel so bad because you knew they were going to cut his match down because they wanted as much time as possible for that main event. They could have cut that match, sadly. I'm glad he won the title, but they could have cut that match. Probably put it on Raw.
I think maybe anything that wasn't necessarily a title match.
I actually disagree with that because a lot of the matches that they have at WrestleMania aren't title matches. I think of a couple that come up in my head, like a lot of the Undertaker matches. His WrestleMania reign, I can think of at least 5 that there was no title for.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going to WrestleMania, sitting there, and they cut an Undertaker match? Because it's not for a title. I feel like whenever someone thinks of WrestleMania, now it's a little bit different, but, a couple years ago, when you think of WrestleMania, you're thinking, Undertaker's going to be there, that's a guaranteed match. It doesn't matter if he has a title on him, because he usually didn't, because he was only around for WrestleMania months, so like February to March, April.
You made a good point there.
So what matches do you think they should have cut?
Samoa Joe's match wasn't long enough that I think it really made a difference. But yeah, AJ and Randy, I think they could have moved that to one of their weekly shows.
Do you think, all in all, the 6.5 or 6 hours that it was, do you think that it would be worth watching again? Would you go out of your way on the WWE Network to watch it all in its entirety?
In its entirety, no. I would watch portions of it again, and I definitely will watch parts of it. I don't know. I feel like most people who are watching this after the fact maybe are going to skip through more of the talking portions.
That makes sense.
Alexa Bliss comes out, where Carmella and R-Truth come out.
I definitely would skip Hulk Hogan's part.
But that's another story.
From my standpoint, I agree with you to an extent, but I also feel like there's nothing like watching a WrestleMania in its entirety. First podcast episode in the books, WrestleMania Winedown.
Yes, WrestleMania 35. How
yes,
exciting.
That was very exciting. We want to thank all of our supporters. It has been so amazing to see all of the support that we've had on Twitter, Instagram, email, face-to-face contact. It's just amazing, don't you think?
We want to hear from you guys,
We
too.
do.
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at WWDcast. That is WWDCAST. And as always, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
All of the above.
All of them.
We will be dropping new episodes every Saturday. Until next time, enjoy your wine and, of course, enjoy your wrestling. Cheers!